the Somerville Sunflowers are playing the Cambridge Carnations in an away game at the Carnations Field, which is called the Ivy.
Ooh.
The Ivy is thusly called because the outfield fence is home to some of Harvard University's famous ivy vines, and they are hungry. What that means... Yeah. What that means is that there hasn't been a home run at the Ivy in 10 years. Balls hit over the fence are gobbled up by the Ivy and turn into ground rule doubles. To hit a home run, unless you leg out an inside the park home run, you would need to hit a ball so far and so high that most 10 or 11-year-olds cannot do that, even the really strong ones. So the Ivy has particular challenges. It is on Harvard's campus. It's on a corner of the campus in one of the big, beautiful quadrangles. And so you all, kind of roll in, Zlobs, Darby, and Morgan. And just as you are kind of unpacking and getting ready to go, a car you have not seen in what seems like an eternity pulls up. It is, of course, the Math Wagon, driven by Mr. Mathers.
I tackle the Math Wagon.
Yeah, you slam yourself bodily into the Math Wagon.
Mindy! 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 Mindy!
Mindy!
Mindy,
Morgan
I open the
and I
door.
are back here too.
Mathers! Mathers! Mathers!
Mindy,
Hi, everybody.
Mindy, tell us everything.
Hi, Mindy.
How was your trip?
It was great.
Oh,
Thank you for asking.
Hi, Mr. Mathers.
Hi.
Hi, Zlobs. Hi, Darby. Hi, Morgan.
Mathers. Mathers. Did you eat any cool food? Oh, did you get to see any Blaseball games? Oh, we didn't tell you about our Blaseball games. Oh, we didn't tell you. Oh, there's so much to tell.
I can't wait to hear about it.
But
But I'm so excited to play the Carnations, and I'm so glad you're here for it. I always like having you here. I feel like you really ground us and center us.
Yeah, that's really sweet. Oh, I brought you back souvenirs like I said I would.
Is Zlobs going to eat all of them?
No, don't eat them at all, please.
Challenge.
I take out 3 smooth stones, and what's very cool about these stones is that they're the color black, but they're so deep black that when you look at them, it almost just looks like you're looking into like a hole. Like it doesn't even look like any light is bouncing off them. It just all gets absorbed.
Thanks.
I think they're cool to look at. So
Thanks.
Whoa,
Add them to your sheet, Zlobs, Darby, and Morgan. Mindy, the origin of these stones, and also what you and Nana Mathers, your grandmother, have been up to for the past couple of weeks are not things that you necessarily feel compelled to discuss right now. You are in the middle of something big, or maybe at the beginning of something big. Something big, something important, and something that Nana Mathers believes you are ready to do. But that's a story for another time. The most important thing today is that the infield is reunited. The whole team is here. And the Cambridge Carnations are already out in the Ivy, kind of welcoming you in their particular way. This is, of course, a rivalry. Somerville and Cambridge are right next to each other. The Cambridge Carnations and the Somerville Sunflowers have a decades-long feud. It just kind of fuels itself every year. Things this year are more complicated than they normally are, because their captain, Vespa Blatmasters, months ago during winter practice, she had stolen something very, very powerful that threatened to kind of harm her if she didn't use it right. A very kind of powerful bit of technology. And so you kind of saved her life. And so that's a check mark in the teamwork column, but also her father, the coach, Thaddeus Blatmasters, is in prison due very, very directly to kind of all of your engagement. He, weeks earlier kind of inadvertently unleashed a computer virus. And he was, essentially arrested for that after meeting with Zlobs, who had kind of set a trap for him, so that I have to be sure to get it right. The Blittle League Office of Tactical Interventions and Bake-at-Home Pizza Sales got him. So, you release a computer virus that turns umpires rogue, the Blittle League Office of Tactical Interventions and Bake-at-Home Pizza Sales will arrest you and throw you into solitary confinement. Mm-hmm. So, complicated season. And that's kind of what you're dealing with here. There's kind of a rumbling. Actually, it makes the most sense for Morgan to make this roll because Morgan knows everybody. Mm-hmm. Morgan, let's just have you roll 2d6 plus charm.
All right. That is a 10. Yay.
All right. One of the Carnations players, Toivo Swirly, who is great. Morgan, why is Toivo great?
They are hilarious. I feel like they can like kid or even almost like Rodney Dangerfield you and insult comic you a little bit. You just rib you a little, and it's just funny every time.
All right. Yeah, Toivo is so one of my favorite suggestions is GM be funny.
They like know what to pick on you, but it's still, you don't mind, I guess.
No, be funny. I got it.
Wow. So, here comes Toivo. Brace for impact.
Toivo, kind of runs up to you, Morgan, trips over nothing in particular, and steadies themselves. Oh my goodness! I tripped over your greatness from all the way over there.
Toivo, get out of here!
What an honor it is for you and the rest of the Sunflowers to grace us Cantabrigians with your presence.
Oh no, you brought a banner. Ugh.
I did.
Oh, and a marching band? Oh,
and a marching band.
No, this is too much. Wait, is that the Blue Angels?
Every last one of them flying in formation. When you have enough money as you think you do by being friends with Morgan Woodstock, you go all out.
Toivo, you get out of here. Oh my gosh.
Have you heard?
Heard what, Toivo?
Coach is back.
Coach
Really?
Blatmasters?
Yeah.
Oh.
But what about his sentencing? What about like his crime?
We heard he was arrested.
Yeah.
Through the grapevine.
Yeah.
Well, he was, but apparently a lot of the evidence in the case was thrown out. He's still going to be sent away somewhere, but he's stopping by for one last game. That was part of the agreement, I guess.
Hey, Toivo.
I guess when he was choosing between do I go immediately to jail or do I see the Carnations beat up the Sunflowers, first he made the right choice.
How's Vespa doing?
You could ask her yourself if you want. It's been hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Swirly, is Rifle playing today?
Yeah.
Oh. Uh-oh.
You know we're gonna kick your butt, right?
So says you. I'm surprised you can even talk to me, considering how intimidated you clearly are.
Toivo.
I'm
Morgan.
sorry. I'm sorry. Looking at the standings, it looks like, let me unroll my standing scroll, that we're tied for first in the pedal division. And we have the tiebreaker.
Well, it's awful nice that you spent all that time and paper printing out the standings instead of working on your ability to throw people out at second.
Got him! He got his obs.
And so Toivo jogs off. And it's true. Toivo knows your throwout percentage at second base is not great.
It's so far. I have so much to concentrate on. It's a tough throw. At the tough throw.
It's okay to do a bounce, Zlobs.
No, I need to get it there.
It's better to throw it and have it bounce, and then either Mathers or I can catch it low than to just try to throw it all the way when you can't do it.
Why don't we just throw the game? Or just throw myself on the ground and just let the gods take me away? What?
You do that every time someone steals a base.
I get so mad. I like to steal bases. I know how it feels, and it feels great. I don't want them to get that. That's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
We're going to steal so many bases today, Zlobs.
Oh, I'm going to get them. Oh, there's no way I'm getting any big hits today. Darby,
I'm going to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to hit a home run.
I bet you are.
It has been, Darby, your, I don't want to say singular focus. You have many foci, but last year when you were here, you really got a hold of one, and it sailed probably 5 feet over the fence. That's about the hardest you've ever hit a ball in your life, and the Ivy got it.
Yeah, it grew. It grew to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Darby, nobody's hit a home run here in years.
But someone has years ago, 10 years ago, which means someone can do it again. And that someone is going to be me.
I believe in you, Darby.
Oh, it'd be really funny if the last person to hit a home run was Lisa Lemon Wedge in the 80s.
This is too high for even. Lisa Lemon Wedge is a precise contact hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The last person to hit one here was a player named Griffin Longrobot, who was Griffin would be the one to do it. Griffin Longrobot's one of the largest players that has ever played in the history of Little League. 6 feet tall, nearly as broad, like absolute. You're pretty sure he came from another planet, and Earth's gravity just made him stronger. So he hit one, and even then, just barely. Yeah, and that's a decade ago.
Plus, according to my History of Boston Area Blittle League book, Volume 2, it was also during a drought, which they say makes the Ivy slower.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a perfect storm, or rather perfect drought, that allowed all of these confluence of events to align. But Darby, you're eyeing the Ivy. And the stands at Harvard are starting to fill up, and one of the attendees is driven up in a big black van owned by the Office of Tactical Interventions and Bake at Home Pizza Sales. Kind of pulls up with like the Blittle League office seal on the side. And the door slides open, and stepping out in not like prisoner garb, like he's not wearing all orange or anything, but he's clearly wearing clothes that have been issued to him, is Thaddeus Blatmasters, surrounded by 4 armed Office of Tactical Intervention and Bake at Home Pizza Sales troopers and Renard. Zlobs, your former handler, when you worked for them before, really this very situation kind of cost you your membership in that organization. And yeah, Thaddeus Blatmasters isn't under any kind of, like, he's not handcuffed or anything. But yeah, the 4 troopers do not take their eyes off him. They are packing weaponry, kind of subtle weaponry. And Renard is, sitting in the top of the bleachers, just overseeing all of this. Thaddeus Blatmasters sits up front. Vespa kind of runs up to her dad, and they talk for a minute. And the troopers kind of interpose themselves, like Vespa can't give him a hug or anything.
I'm gonna punch Zlobs very softly in the back of the shoulder and say, "Are you okay?"
Ouch! Not anymore. You got punched in the shoulder.
Zlobs,
You're okay.
Zlobs, do you want a special snack before the game?
Yes.
Okay, I give Zlobs it's called a burrito. It's a burrito that's still half frozen. He likes when the beans are still icy on the inside.
Oh yeah, it's a hot day. Oh, thank you. Oh,
Yeah, here's a burrito to cool you down.
What a crunch.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And it's gonna stay with me.
Darby, you want some? Want a bite?
Yes.
Okay, here you go.
Y'all are gross.
Isn't it so crunchy? Ow.
Yeah.
It's
Matter-
disgusting, and I love it. And I'm not. I'm so glad I can't get sick like you can.
Matters, do you have any fruit by the foot?
Hold on. My dad has some in the car.
Okay, thank you.
Jessu, your first base person, wheels. There she is. Wheels up. It says, "No, it's okay, Mindy. It's okay. We're about to start." And the little compartment on her tank opens up, and
Is
it's
it like
full of
a little like a ticket dispenser, except with
it's like a deli ticket dispenser, and fruit by the foot come out. I just had this installed.
Can I give Jessu a hug?
You can.
I'm gonna give Jessu a big hug. I'm gonna cry a little bit because the last time I saw you, it was really. I told you about that on the phone, right?
We don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
Okay.
That seems very traumatic.
It was pretty rough. Thank you. I'm gonna eat your foot.
I take 4 of the fruit by flits. I wrap it around the burrito.
Yeah, that's really something else.
Sweet and savory. Oh.
Yeah, there's an umami quality to it. But yeah, so you all, the game begins. The umpire calls you all in, and the game starts. So here's how this is going to work. We're not really going to talk about the game that much because we're going to talk about something else. We're going to talk about the moments where you're not playing. And every time you get a partial success, you will always have the option to bump it up to a full success if you give the Cambridge Carnations a run. And then at the end of the game, we're going to roll some dice and see if you end up catching them. That's how that's going to work. Zlobs, you are you're sitting on the bench. The sunflowers are batting, and one of these troopers kind of like stands by the fence and clears her throat and says,
I pointedly ignore them.
And she produces a note from kind of inside her armored vest.
I reach back for it.
Yep. It's you open it up and it's in unmistakable handwriting, the handwriting of your handler Renard. Mr. Zlobs, if it's all right, I would like to talk to you for a moment.
I take out my pen. I write down now? Question mark. I'm at bat in a couple. Then I fold it up, hand it back to the person.
Yeah, the trooper takes it, and she says, "He's asking now." Roger. Yes, now.
I get up. I'm watching Scoot bat right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get up.
Rifle Valentine is toying with Scoot Salamander.
Rifle.
This is so sad. Sorry, Scoot.
So yeah, you get up, and where exactly do you meet Renard? In the stands, behind the dugout, somewhere else?
There's a small equipment closet off the like underneath like the visitor's entrance.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So yeah, he's so Renard is kind of standing, kind of right under the overhang of it. Thank you for coming. I know you're at bat in a few, unless they've changed the rotation.
No, I'll get back there in time.
I will be blunt. Were you anywhere near the tactical interventions and bake-at-home pizza sales Arlington Vehicle Depot last night?
The one where they keep the heavy machinery?
Yes.
And like the all the helicopters?
Mm-hmm.
And the war tanks?
That's the one.
And all the death buses?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like all the ground shakers?
Yes.
And they keep all the Jersey barriers?
Indeed.
No. Why do you ask?
Renard is being very kind of cagey with his words here. If it's all right, and it's not that I don't believe you, but since you're not in the office anymore, I have to take precautions. He pulls out this little kind of scanner thing. It's almost like a portable document scanner, like big long thing, looks like a fluorescent tube with like a sheath on it. Would you mind holding out your hands just so I can confirm?
Yeah. You know me. You know I can't lie. It's like it's one of the laws of nature.
I know. Okay. You know exactly what this thing is. Like any tactical interventions place has all kinds of chemical defense and stuff. And if you tried to pick a lock or climb a fence, your hand would be covered in all sorts of weird gel that he would be able to scan. So he looks and nods. It was very, like Renard kind of looks at you and says, "Well, I hope you're doing well."
I hope you are well too. Oh, they're calling me. I'm up to. As I walk away, I say, I wanted to say in person that I'm sorry, and I leave.
Zlobs.
As soon as I leave, I lose my cool immediately.
Zlobs.
I'm fine. I'm here. I'm ready for my at bat.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. You have a second. Take a deep breath. Okay. What happened?
I just had to talk. I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's great.
Do you want to take a moment?
No.
Okay.
2d6 plus sharp to investigate a mystery.
Oh, I'm good at that. No, am I? I'm okay. Oh no, 8. I thought it was a 1.
Okay.
No.
Would you like to upgrade to a full success?
I'm at bat. No.
Okay. You can ask one question from the investigate a mystery list. Essentially, why would Renard, who you haven't spoken to in weeks and weeks and weeks, who has kicked you out of the agency, why would he be asking you if you broke into a secure facility?
I only need one, John, and it's what is being concealed. Easy.
So The thing that you didn't mention when you started listing all of the things that would be held at the Arlington Depot is your old war van.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it would have gone after it was impounded.
Mm-hmm. It's classified as a death bus.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of many death buses that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Renard probably asked you because someone stole your war van.
That's mine, or used to be mine. How dare they?
Like Renard knows that you wouldn't have stolen anything else. Like you had a falling out with the office, but you wouldn't have stolen a tank or a ground shaker. But the war van, he needed to ask about because apparently the war van is gone, and that would mean you would be the chief suspect in it.
Makes sense, but where would I hide it? I'm so bad at hiding things.
Exactly.
I tried playing hide and seek once, and I walked into a door, and I got blood everywhere because I was bleeding from walking.
You were
into
incredibly
a door.
easy to see. It was a trail of blood. Yeah. So that's on your mind as you get up to bat. All of you are keeping a pretty close eye on Vespa because you're trying to figure out, how's she handling this? Your relationship with Vespa is complicated, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
But you're all keeping.
Who is catching right now?
For the
I love
Carnations.
Either when I'm catching or I'm at bat, I'm always talking. Boomer
Blitz.
Boomer Blitz.
Boomer Blitz.
Hey, Booms. Should I go center right or center left?
Boomer speaks in essentially vibration. That you don't hear it with your ears. It kind of rattles the back of your skull, which is unnerving. Doesn't matter where you want to put it. Rifle's going to throw it right down the middle of the plate for you.
Oh, great. Oh, I'm going to get a great hit. All I need is be on base. You know how dangerous I am. That throw to second pretty hard, right?
We don't even need to roll. Rifle throws absolute fire down the middle of the plate that you can't catch.
Ha! Okay.
The results of this at-bat and other events shall be discussed later. But yeah, you're all keeping an eye on on Vespa, and when the inning change is over, one of you has an opportunity to speak to her. Who is that of all of you?
I'm gonna go talk to her.
Okay. Yeah, you're kind of like, she's running in, you're running out with your glove, Darby.
Vespa. Hey, Vespa. I just wanted to say you were really brave the last time I saw you. I hope you've been holding up okay.
I suppose. It's certainly good to see him now, for however long.
Do you know what happens next?
Yeah. Actually, let's have you, Darby, let's have you roll for what happens next.
Oh.
2d6 plain. Failure is bad, partial's pretty bad, full is the least bad of all.
Least bad.
8.
Very bad.
Would you like to upgrade to a full success? I'll put it to you this way. The partial success means that Thaddeus Blatmasters will be imprisoned by Blaseball. Essentially the organization, like the ILB.
The Blaseball?
Yeah, in an ILB run prison for essentially until like Vespa's 25 years old. Because even with all the confusion and him maybe getting broken out of jail and Umpire Sunman leaving and all of that, the fact of the matter is he had a virus that was partitioned that he dropped the partition on and released into the world. So according to ILB, that is enough to put him in jail for 15 years. Oof. A full success means he will be remanded to the state for really 1 year. Your choice.
Full success.
Oh,
Carnations
I can't.
up 1-0.
Vespa's right in front of me, and I.
Yep.
I wouldn't have done that. You're a
So
better person than me.
She explains to you kind of this story of how kind of the case against her father more or less fell apart. Umpire Sunman was going to be the witness against him, but Umpire Sunman is gone and no one knows where he is. He was pretty compelling on the stand. Harvlard furnished him with good lawyers, all of these things. And essentially the ILB kind of wiped their hands of the situation and remanded him to the state of Massachusetts, where he is, he's essentially going to serve 1 year of jail time for like various computer crimes, more or less. So, so Vespa kind of explains all of this to you. And she says, well, what that means is he's going to miss my last season.
Oh.
But we'll figure out something else we have in common afterwards,
You will. Well, your dad did. Well, you know as well as I do that it could have hurt a lot of people, but he deserves another chance when he gets out. And if you ever need me to fly you over to visit him, let me know.
That's really nice of you to say.
I won't drop you like I almost did your dad. I promise.
Okay, I think that's about enough. We should talk about my dad.
Yeah.
Good luck out there.
You too. I'm going to hit home run.
She laughs.
Don't laugh.
It's Vespa that ends up driving in the run that inning. So, Mindy, you're currently at in the field, and you're defending your base. You're on second, and you're getting just a really outstanding view of everything, and you're thinking about what you and Nana Mathers have been up to over the past couple of weeks. And what is a piece of advice that Nana Mathers gave you that is unrelated to the incredibly precise work you were doing, but, she just kind of said it out of the blue, some piece of advice that's been rattling around in your mind?
She said something that, to me, seemed like the opposite of a lot of the stuff she usually tells me. The whole trip, she kept saying, concentrate, Mindy, concentrate. And one of the things she mentioned when she found something on the vehicle that she had kind of stopped looking for is, she said, sometimes the solution to a problem only presents itself when you stop looking for it. And I've been thinking about that a lot because I'm always trying to concentrate so hard. And I'm wondering, maybe there are some things I should stop concentrating on so much.
Yeah. Instead of a laser focus, something else, to relax your mind, see what happens. Really an interesting thing that's rattling around. And the great irony now is you're debating, am I focusing too much on the advice to not focus too much? And what does that mean? And you're kind of going back and forth. Given that advice, I'm going to let you make a roll. 2d6 plus weird. Because you're not trying to read anyone's mind, which means you're going to read everybody's mind.
$11.
It's like you're listening to like an outdoor concert at great distance. You know, there's just this din, almost like it's over the hill, even though it's right around you. It's all these people here. But when you're not focusing on people's thoughts, your subconscious mind is just kind of plucking some out. Just as like you're hearing a concert in the distance, and you know, you hear, you know, a drum, you hear like a little, you know, little journey of a violin, you hear a chorus sing for a second. It's like your mind's doing the work for you. And the thing that you kind of hear without really listening for it is a kind of muffled cry of panic replaced immediately by absolute calm. Like someone somewhere, like there was someone occupying a certain space, and whoever was occupying that space felt a lot of panic for a second. And then whoever was occupying that space a few seconds later felt perfectly calm.
Do I know who it is?
It's one of the guards that's on Thaddeus Blatmasters.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Can I pick one of the guards at random and do a deeper dive?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Let's all right, chat. I have a number in my head. 1, 2, 3, or 4. I have chosen it. The first person in the chat that says 1, 2, 3, or 4, if that number matches mine, well, Gooner Bear 94. I'll be darned.
Thank you, chat. About time.
Yeah. You deep dive into the mind of one of the guards that, again, you weren't thinking too much about it. You weren't concentrating too much. You just kind of let the psychic waves wash over you, and you just kind of focused on one of them. 2d6 plus weird, please. I'm going to give you a -1 on this, though.
9.
Oh.
Would you like to upgrade to a full success? On a 9, you get to ask one question from Investigate a Mystery. On a full success, you can ask literally any question you want in the world.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
I'll take my partial.
All right.
And
one question on Investigate a Mystery, then.
I will ask what happened here.
So you're reading the mind of this person. What happened is that this guard walked up to one of the guards, whispered something truly horrifying into his ear, and that guard ran away. And now this guard has taken his place.
Do I know where the old guard went?
Maybe. What would your approach be to finding the old guard?
probably I would try to remember what the sort of fingerprint of that panic was like and see if I can tune into it.
Yeah, you're going to try to chase the panic.
Yeah. Chase the panic.
What that will do, if you want to chase it, is it's going to take you out of the game because George Grundle will need to come in and sub for you. Would you like to do that?
Yeah.
2d6 plus weird.
11.
Okay. We'll play that as a tune-in roll. You can ask 3 questions from tune-in.
Ooh.
3. Okay. Where is the creature right now?
He is currently running to Cambridge Hospital.
What is it planning to do right now?
It needs to check in on his wife because she is not due to go into labor yet, and she's apparently going into labor.
Oh. I think that's all the questions I have for that guard. But now I have more for the guard that's still here.
Yeah, so you are, and it's like, and you're like, oh, that guard probably has something to say about it. But yeah, you take off following the, presumably, you take off following this guard because something about this is strange to you.
Yeah, I want to keep an eye.
Yeah, you're keeping an eye. You hop on a bike or some other appropriate conveyance and start heading towards the hospital. Meanwhile, in the game.
Hi, George.
Hey! Ha-ha!
Hey, Joyce.
I'm ready.
Let's get the W, okay?
Yeah, that's a meatball.
Oh, it's going to be. Where did Mindy go? I'm sorry. Where did Boss go?
Oh, boss tapped me on the shoulder, said she had some business.
Ooh,
that's
business.
boss for you.
Yeah, it's boss business.
Well, you got to be ready. Always viscous. That's the Grundle motto.
I hope George doesn't mind. I actually borrowed his bike because my dad drove me. It's way too big for me, so I have to reach way down every pedal.
Yes, a lot of this. Yeah, Jorts is, in Jorts' normal form, Jorts stretches out his legs. It kind of looks like a giant brown Kermit the Frog on a bike, really, when he rides. So it's hard, but you're getting there.
Yeah.
So the game kind of carries on. Until Zlobs, you hear a noise from the stands. A very distinctive noise. A Blittle League Office of Tactical Interventions and Bake-at-Home Pizza Sales noise. What is this noise?
Oh, it's the hum of a drone, of a classic recon drone.
Yeah, hum of a drone. Perfect.
Oh.
2d6 plus sharp, please.
Boom. Well. 12.
Well, I'll be darned.
Wow. I'll be Zlobs.
Yeah. Like, and it sounds almost like a hummingbird or a dragonfly or something like that. Like it's oddly
soothing.
Very, very soothing, especially when you see the room where they put them together, and it's like a great hum of hummingbirds.
Oh, they do not allow me to go in there.
No.
I mean, there once. There was
One time that was
didn't make that mistake.
enough for them. There's only one Zlobs in there. But yeah, you see a drone kind of descend from the hazy clouds, kind of zip behind the. On a 12, I'll tell you the whole darn thing.
Please do.
Kind of zip behind the stands, and you see like a little puff from the drone, and you're pretty sure it just fired a dart. One of the guards kind of flinches for a second and scratches the back of her neck, and then kind of returns to standing. And you're kind of watching and waiting, and the guard
1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000,
and throw up.
Oh no!
Yeah, and so she runs and
bomb dart,
and yeah, it's a bomb dart, and she throws up somewhere, and then a minute later she returns. Only she is shorter
now. Is one of the guards nearby that was giving me messages before?
Yeah. Yeah, that guard jogs over.
I write a note. Can I speak to Reynard, please? Urgent, not a joke. What?
All right, I'll take it.
Heart emojis, Zlobs.
Oh, okay. And right in front of you, she reads it. Zlobs would like to talk to you, sir. And then Reynard comes down, and you once again convene at the equipment closet.
Oh, something bad just happened.
How do you mean?
I have to make this quick. I'm at bat soon again, as it happens in baseball. I heard a drone. Did you hear a drone come by? One of the tactical office drones.
No.
I saw it, and I heard it, and I saw it. Vom dart one of the guards, and then the guards threw up, and after 3 seconds, as vom darts do, and then someone returned that wasn't the same person. Then one of the guards surrounding Blatmasters.
He turns and he sees the 4 guards standing around Blatmasters. We only brought 4 guards. Is this some kind of joke? Like when you broke into the drone room that one time and started reprogramming drones? And they started vom darting each other. You know drones can't vom, right?
Oh, but I tried. Oh, it was very funny. But no, this is serious. I'm serious. I'm not joking.
2d6 plus charm.
Oh, I'm not good at that. Oh, 8.
Would you like to upgrade to a full success? On a partial success, he is going to ask for you to essentially sit with him and observe the guards, thus taking you out of the game. On a full success, he will investigate the situation himself.
I can't get out. Yeah. Either way, it will hurt the game if I'm not there. Wait a second. Hold on. Actually, really important question. My backup would go in, right? Is that correct? The shadow catcher would go in?
Yeah.
Okay, I want that. I agree with Renard. Spoilers, chat. We don't have one yet. But Renard, I'm this is important to me, and I'll take myself out of the game. If it will make you believe me.
Okay. All right, come with me. We'll observe.
Well, I gotta tell Coach where I'm going.
Yeah, Coach Martinez looks at you, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm going up there." And she's like, "All right," and she calls in your backup.
Good luck.
You wish your backup luck.
Oh, okay.
The game continues. Darby, you are you're keeping an eye on Vespa. At this point, especially like with Mindy gone following a lead, and Zlobs now in the stands with Renard. Morgan and Darby, the two of you are now very well aware that something is up. You just don't know what. So my question to either of you is, what would you like to do about that?
I really want to hit that home run. really, really just want to trust that Zlobs and Mindy have this taken care of and don't need our help yet. That's what I want.
I really want to prove that I can beat the Carnations. Last time I failed in front of Rifle, and it's been eating me alive ever sinse.
Yeah, Rifle's so good. But you're good too.
I know.
You gotta even it up for the season. You gotta even it up.
They've got it.
I try to keep like a running like in my head like a Mindy, if you need me, like Mindy, if you need me, say help. Mindy, if you need me, say help. So that if she tunes in one of us, maybe she'll just like hear it running
like a voicemail.
All right, Darby. Here's what we're gonna do. I need you to roll a 2d6 plus tough and a 2d6 plus weird. Roll them both at the same time. Here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna have, and you're gonna add them up. You're gonna have a total number. You can assign however much of that to hit a home run and however much of that to reaching out to Mindy.
Okay.
Of note, to hit a home run is going to be a full 12.
Okay. Okay, so that's an 8. Oh, that's a 9.
17.
Oof.
Okay. 15 and 2. 15 and 2. 15 and 2.
Yeah, Mindy's got it.
Sure.
Trust Mindy.
Perfect.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I want that home run.
Noted. The more you play, like something's up. Something's up. But also, the ivy's right there.
Yeah.
It's not too humid. You don't think it's rain. You've been looking at the weather. It's not a drought, not by any stretch, but you think the Quabbin Reservoir is low.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean for Darby? You keep saying.
With a failing roll that low, do I get like a scrambled message from Darby?
Yeah. You kind of ping your teammates just to make sure they're fine. Yeah, Mindy, what is it that you see? What image has Darby painted in her mind?
Oh, so I think what Darby, I'm thinking back, I believe what Darby meant to say is, Mindy, if you need me, say help.
Mm-hmm.
And I just keep getting over and over again, Mindy, you need help. Mindy, you need help. And I take that to mean something extremely dangerous is about to happen on my end of things. So I am on incredibly high alert. I am extremely vigilant. I am assuming that any moment I am about to really need help.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, what is this? Like you're just back and forth on this bike, and you're looking around, and you don't know what it means. But eventually, you get to Cambridge Hospital, and run in, and the the Bake at Home Pizza Sales trooper kind of runs up to the front desk, like pops off his helmet. Yes, I'm here to see. And he like gives a name. And the kind of the technician at intake is like, would you mind spelling that? I'm sorry, there's no one here under that name.
I knew it.
What do you mean? She's in labor now. I don't know what you, sir. No, I'm rest assured. She's not here.
I've been secretly listening in. Can I walk over and tug on his sleeve?
Sure.
Excuse me, sir.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're from the game.
I am. Hello, my name is Mindy Mathers. It seems to me we've both been duped. Do you have a car?
No, I ran here.
Oh, shoot. We're both going to have to take the bike then. I believe it's urgent that we get back to the game.
2d6 plus charm, please.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I thought he would see the obvious logic at play here. Maybe not. That's a 6.
To upgrade to a full success would be 2 runs to the Cambridge Carnations.
Oof.
Nope.
So the two of you start getting into this big. He's like, no, this is some kind of mistake. I just need to use a phone. And eventually, and I mean eventually, you're going to convince him to get on the bike. But it's not going to be anytime soon.
No, I didn't realize it would be a time crunch. I thought I'd just leave him here. Sir, please, why don't you carry a cell phone?
Well, it's not protocol. They can be hacked. Besides, I'm watching the guy that released the Kudzu Virus. I'm not going to carry technology on me.
Who's watching him now?
Well, the replacement that replaced me.
Sir, please, your wife is not here. Do you want me to find her for you?
Could you? And that's what ends up happening. So yeah, Morgan, back on the mound. You're pitching to who do we got? That's pretty cool. You're pitching to your old pal Toivo Swirly. Who is steps in, holds the bat upside down. I know you pitch inside, so I'm ready.
Toivo.
And he fouls one back. Like a big resonant, like aluminum on Blaseball thud, and the ball like sticks in the fence. 2d6 plus wits, please. I'm sorry, 2d6 plus sharp.
Okay. Ooh, that is a 5.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.
La-di-da. You
Almost a 6.
Well, look out.
that foul happened at the same time as something in the stands. Like you saw the foul and then you saw a bunch of movement really quick. If you want to upgrade to a success so you can see what that is, it'll cost you 2 runs.
Oof.
No, I'm like I'm fire focused. I would like Toivo's like really getting under my skin in a little bit. Mm-hmm. I saw Rifle, and Rifle sort of like gave me a look that made me like infuriated, and I'm just trying to prove myself.
Yeah, it was deriding and flirty at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
How do they do that?
Like Rifle, Rifle is Rifle has a pile of like wrapped like in the plastic Blaseballs, and Rifle is currently opening them all up to suggest so many balls you throw will be hit out of here that you will need extras. And so Rifle's just like doing that and like
Hmm.
narrow-eyed staring at you.
Yeah, I look back at Rifle, and I'm just gonna, I've got this. This can't be another game where something happens again. Every game is something happens. This can't be it.
Yep.
It's gonna be.
And so you're laser focused. Zlobs,
Hey, what's up?
you're in the stands,
Mhm.
and you're watching,
With Renard.
with Renard, and the two of you are, Renard is not talking to. Renard's keeping it like very,
Mhm.
like he's with a Blittle League office. You are a player. You are a couple of folks that know each other's names.
Mhm.
You did not work together for like a year or two, but he's being very polite and.
Mhm.
And all, and
Guard number 3, the one by the bench. She keeps reaching into her pocket.
yes, it looks like she has gum in that pocket.
Yeah, how much gum can one person eat? What? That's gum. That's not me. You have people that are not me. Go, Morgan!
So you have a pretty close eye on this situation. 2d6 plus sharp plus 1 because you are in a position to see all of this.
10. Ha
Well,
Yeah. So a couple of kids are kind of running behind the bleachers. Like they're coming from like the concession stand, and they've got what is the cool like Blittle League drink they sell at the Cambridge Carnations field, and what makes it so awesome?
Oh, they it's called it's they call it thermite. It's you take those jug drinks and you take pop rocks and you put it in there and you down it.
This is perfect. They're running around with these two big thermite jugs, and they're laughing. They dump an inordinate amount of pop rocks in, and as they're like running by Thaddeus Blatmasters, they like loudly cheer. Great big explosion of like fizzy drink and smoke and pop rocks, and it smells like you are in a candy factory on a hot day. It's just the air is like thick with like sugary sweet. And while this is very much the kind of thing that would distract you, you are staying hyper focused on like through the cloud of like fizzy, sugary smoke, just in time to see two guards run up, very, very quickly hit the other two guards with something. You think it's a cattle prod, and then those two guards drop and are dragged away very quickly. And then it all like things kind of start clearing up, and yeah, there are now, as always, 4 guards guarding Thaddeus Blatmasters.
Renard, did you see that?
Did I see what?
Oh no, they just two guards get knocked out. They're not even remotely the same height.
2d6 plus charm plus 1 because you clearly saw it and Renard is here.
Charm?
Yeah.
You usually have a -1, but with
This is
the
flat.
+1, this makes it 10. Renard, I'm serious. If you don't believe me, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do something about it.
Zlobs, I believe you. Thank you for being honest with me.
Really?
Yes, thank you for being honest with me.
Oh, that book was right.
Hmm?
Huh? Nothing.
Oh. All right. Let's go talk to them. And the two of you get up and start working your way through the stands.
Come on. Come on.
At that moment, the 4 guards kind of simultaneously like turn and look up at the both of you, and then lean over, and one of them says something to Thaddeus Blatmasters, and Thaddeus Blatmasters looks up, and you hear Thaddeus say, "But I was told I could watch the whole game. Well, I don't want to leave now. And they kind of get him up on his feet and start walking him through the parking lot.
Okay, Renard, why would they move him to this game? This is dangerous. I tackle one of the people doing it. Chains out, Zlobs out.
Okay, you are attacking a guard.
Yeah, no, this is bad. This is dumb. Oh, whoa. We know this is dumb. We're going out. We're making the move.
All right,
we're stealing second.
So you know, essentially the way this works is like by the time you get down to where they are, they're already like behind the bleachers and like walking into the parking lot. So you then run up the bleachers and then like dive off.
How else?
So let's go ahead and kick some butt. 2d6 plus tough, please. 8. Partial success.
Yes.
Okay. Are you aiming to do some damage, or I mean, it's damage essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your damage with the spiked chain?
The damage is the 3. 3 harm is my spike chain.
Got it. So this person takes 1. This guard takes 1, and in turn does 3 back to you.
Oh, that's 1 harm.
So, you know, you kind of, you kind of jump off the top of the bleachers, like swinging the giant chain, lashing in. You end up like striking a bit of the armor, which kind of rips apart under the spiked chain.
I am aiming to tangle things up. I don't.
Yeah, care. you want to tangle some things up. The guard turns around and punches you with, that is definitely not Office of Tactical Interventions and Baked Home Pizza Sales standard issue, like a giant electrified glove.
Ow, 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 ow.
Oh, you kind of fly back. The one guard turns to the other 3, get him to the van. And they all start sprinting off. And yeah, this guard's now just kind of squaring up with you, like big kind of lightning fist. You should think about this. I'm part of the office.
I don't think.
And so we are kind of freezed up there. Okay. Darby and Morgan. The two of you couldn't help but notice Zlobs dive off the bleachers screaming. In point of fact, plenty of people are now watching this. What would you like to do? The umpire has yet to call a timeout.
I mean, Zlobs tackles people all the time.
But you know, it could be over anything, really.
I'm gonna look at the umpire and be like, "What? You gonna call timeout? Timeout."
All right. This is a new umpire.
Oh.
Hey, chat, let's give the umpire a name. While you are just one name, one big imposing last name. So while the chat is doing that, oh, there's some good ones. They're all good. All of these are terrific. Still a Flame is almost too perfect. Umpire Michaels. That's
not imposing.
You choose
Michaels?
Well, none of these are terribly imposing. Well, no, wait.
I'm sorry, Umpire Dredge?
Umpire Dredge it is.
Yeah,
Umpire Dredge it is. No, you're right. Oh, geez, is that 2 names for Gooner Bear 94? I think it is. All
I
right.
can't stop laughing at umpire Randy.
I don't know. I just called the game.
And everybody,
What I've done, I gotta go back to the bookstore that I work at.
Only a coach can call a timeout.
Randy.
So, umpire Dredge needs convincing.
Randy Dredge.
Morgan, 2d6 plus charm, please, to call the timeout.
Oh, thank God. Someone with charm actually rolling charm.
Hey, that's a 12.
Timeout.
Yeah, a lot of convincing right there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you just give umpire Dredge kind of the steely eye, and it's like, we need a timeout. Something's happening. So a timeout is called to investigate what is going on. Umpire Dredge kind of jogs over in his power armor to the line and sees a uniformed Blittle Leaguer fighting a guard while 3 other guards are running a prisoner towards a van. So yeah, with the timeout called, Darby, you can actually do things that aren't ruminating on hitting a home. So yeah, with Morgan successfully securing a timeout, what would you like to do?
I would like to fly to the van and just land on it, on the hood of the van with a giant thump, just in front of it, and put my sword out in front of the door so they can't throw Thaddeus in.
Oh, it's so cool.
2d6. Here's how it's going to be. This is just a plain old 2d6. Pick what you'd rather roll, odds or evens.
Evens.
All right, roll some evens.
4.
Oh, okay.
There are 2 identical vans in this parking lot. And so you're kind of flying overhead and you see like the 2 black vans spread pretty far apart. One's parked like real close and one's parked far away. And you're like, that's weird that one would be parked far away. And so you land on the far away one. And yeah, they're running Thaddeus Blatmasters towards that far one. You land on it terrifyingly as always, big brass wings out, flaming sword. They all kind of stop, and there's a bit of a standoff.
He's supposed to stay for the whole game.
We're under orders, escorting a prisoner. We have to leave now.
Then why are Zlobs and Renard fighting another guard?
Funny you bring that up, because Renard's trying to de-escalate the violence. So Renard is like holding on to Zlobs and holding on to the guard. And it's like just kind of a big crazy fracas over there. But that is a fair question.
They don't know that.
Yeah, they don't know that.
Can't see
Yeah,
that.
that's exactly it. So you're like, this is kind of a bluff. We're going to ask you to get off the van.
No. Not till I know what's going on here. You're doing this at a Blittle League game. Blittle Leaguers get to know what's going on and make the final call. Who are your orders from?
All right. Here's what they're going to do. You are going to get... who's going to do it? Okay, perfect. What's going to happen is you are going to be hit with something thrown at you very hard. How, in what way would you like to act under pressure to avoid that? What would you do if something was being thrown at you right now?
Fly, just with my wings, just fly up and do a flip and then come right back down.
Got it.
Dramatic.
Oh, it's so cool.
Indeed. Cool. Okay, that's going to be 2d6 plus cool.
Yeah. 9.
All right.
That's pretty cool.
So the partial success means, which you can upgrade to a full success if you want, by the way. The partial success is you are going to fly out of the way to avoid damage, and it would be pretty significant. But by the time you land, the van will already be in motion. That is to say, you're on the van, but the van is driving.
Yeah, partial.
Got it. So one of the guards kind of pulls a bat, a big aluminum bat, and throws it at you, kind of like an axe. You extend the wings, the wind catches you. Now, go into the van, and boom, they get into the van. Except for the person that threw the bat, who holds up a hand, and the bat returns to it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Whoa.
And then that guard gets in too. And so you are peeling off down the road, with holding onto this van. Zlobs, what's up?
As I see the van in motion, 2 questions. 1, do I know this van? 2, can I hook my chain onto the back of the van to like Marty McFly it down the road?
So this van is incredibly far away. It's parked at the other end of the parking lot. However, the dice will tell us if you can. So the way it's going to work is this is obviously a cool roll, because you're going to have to get out of the melee you're currently in, and find a way to like run across the hoods of cars such that you can kind of latch on and Marty McFly this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is hard, so I'm going to give you a -1 to it, but roll 2d6 plus cool.
Okay. You said -1?
I did.
Ooh, okay. This is 6. I'm very cool.
All right. So, you kind of you start sprinting, and you're like leaping over cars, and you turn to see, it's like, what's Renard and this guard do? Like, you suddenly become very protective of Renard, and you turn, and the guard like is kind of holding Renard and like yelling at him.
Renard.
And then the guard then runs away, like in an opposite direction of the van, just like takes off for the trees. Yeah, and so you're like looking at it, it's like, geez, that's weird. And yeah, you're just kind of like pounding over the hoods of cars, chasing the van. You see Darby on it, but it's really a foot race between you and the van, and that van is going to win, unless, of course, you want to try to hotwire a car.
Did I notice another black van that was close by?
Yeah, there's another one.
Oh, I go up to that van.
You do. These jerks didn't even change the passcode on the doors to these things. The fingerprint scanner doesn't work. You've been purged from the database, but you... let's give it a 2d6 plus sharp to hotwire this thing.
Oh, 5!
Oh, no.
Huh. That's weird. And then the van explodes.
That's fair.
Meanwhile, Mindy,
Yes.
you are finally
Yeah.
riding your bike back
Uh-huh.
to the Ivy with this guard standing on the pegs behind you.
Yep. He's on my spokes.
Yep. And as you're riding back, you see kind of like tearing around a corner in the middle of Cambridge, a big black van with like Darby on the roof of it with a flaming sword, like driving away from the away from the field.
Can I get in front of it?
2d6 plus cool.
Oh. Cool, you say?
Mindy Mathers rolls a 10 on cool.
Wow.
All right, well, that's worthy of something.
For sure
must
is.
must be nice.
The van slams on its brakes. Kind of smoke belching out from the tires.
Hi, Darby.
Hey, Mindy!
Is this the guard that that took the place of my friend here?
Yeah, there's like, Darby, you kind of look in the window, and the 3 guards are kind of like sitting there. And yeah, that's an original guard. Like, now that you're up close, these 3 guards are shorter. The equipment doesn't fit them as well.
Okay, I'm gonna climb up on the hood and look him in the eyes and see if I can find a secret.
You start walking up to do that. The driver's side door swings open. One of the guard gets out. No. Susie Chen.
What?
Susie?
The other 2 get out. Donatella Da Vinci and Charlotte Yeager.
What are you? Did you come to watch my game?
Sorta.
Why are you in a van with my teammate on top of it?
Well, I didn't really want her up there. Kind of makes it hard to steer.
Thank you for not hitting me with the van.
You sunflowers are made of glass. You would have shattered. We need you to get out of the way, though.
Where are you taking him?
Somewhere safe.
Somewhere
Safer than
safe.
jail, anyway.
Why?
Donatella Da Vinci chuckles, and Susie looks at her. Yeah. As Donatella is fond of saying, we are self-funded for reasons that you understand. This is a job.
Who hired you?
You'd have to pay us more than the people that hired us.
You know I can just find out.
Yeah, but I'm going to make you.
He really did something wrong, Susie, and I think that he probably should serve the sentence that he was. We already meddled in this once, and it really turned out quite horribly.
So do you want to meddle again? I'm asking you as a friend to get out of the way of this van.
You're asking me as a friend?
Mm-hmm.
I walk back to Jortz's bike and I wheel it out of the way.
Charlotte Yeager looks up at you, Darby. We are taking him somewhere safe.
I jump off the van.
All right. Well, 9th inning. Those timeouts don't last forever, huh? Donatella puts on her mask. Susie kind of turns around, looks at the both of you. Good luck. It's a close one.
I'm gonna hit a home run.
Yeah. We've all tried.
You're not me.
And they drive off. The timeout is over. The four of you return to the field, including Zlobs, who is covered in soot, but remarkably okay.
Yeah, how big of an explosion was that?
Enough to send you flying like 20 feet.
You're fine.
I think I am.
Uh,
I don't know how, but I am. Bernard, did you see that? I flew.
I did.
Oh.
Because you tried to steal a van.
Yeah, someone else stole her van first.
Apparently. If you'll excuse me. Best of luck. I wish I could watch the game. And he runs off and starts making phone calls. All right. Current score. Carnations are up 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan, I need you to make a roll.
right.
What is your approach to pitching the rest of this game?
I'm gonna look at Mathers really quickly because I know that Mathers is really upset. Mathers,
Hmm?
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me what's going on. I know there's a lot of complicated things going on. I just want to know, can I give you a hug?
Oh.
Hug. I'm going to black out everything going on, and I'm just going to throw the hardest, most honest game. I don't even care about technique.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going for fast, and I'm going for accurate.
2d6 plus sharp.
I have a question. Who's behind the plate?
The catcher,
Is it
who's
me?
doing a good job.
Okay. I assumed I can't go back in because I get subbed out.
Umpire Dredge does a little bit of math, and since technically this was league business, you're allowed to sub back in.
Okay. Because Morgan's throwing the old Morgan special, just the pow pow pow. I know how to accurately like compensate for any lack of technique.
I will give you a +1 to your 2d6 plus sharp, Morgan, because Lobs is assisting.
Yeah. All right, here we go. You said +1, you say?
Yep, plus your sharp, +1.
8.
It's about as clean a game as you could manage. Rifle's real good. You're real good. And going into the top of the 9th, it is 2-1 Carnations. Mindy, I need you to give me a 2d6 plus tough, which is a +1 for Jort's Grundle, please.
7.
Okay.
Oh, just enough.
Zlobs, give me a 2d6 plus cool.
9.
All right.
I'm sorry, 10. I rolled a 7.
Darby, you've got runners first and second. But you already paid for that home run. So why don't you go ahead and describe what it looks like?
Oh, I step up to the plate. Give a nod to Rifle. And I know that it's going to be the first pitch. Because Rifle throws a strike every time. I know exactly where it's going to be. And as it flies over the wall, over the ivy, it extends up, almost forming like a hand reaching for the ball. But then it just doesn't quite make it. The ball just hits just the tip of the finger that the ivy has formed. And then after that, it's not even like it's anything special. We just run the bases and get a high five from all the Carnations players who aren't super happy, but they do it as I run past them at first and second, and their shortstop third, and then come on home. And then Zlobs tackles me.
Yeah, Darby!
And I throw Dermite all over them.
Darby, Darby, volume 3. Volume 3. I bet your name's gonna be in volume 3.
Oh my gosh. And there wasn't even a drought.
Yeah. Morgan, you pitch a clean bottom of the ninth. The van drives north along the coast.
That's where Maine is.
Stops under a big stone bridge in Salem, Massachusetts.
That's where Salem is.
The door opens and Thaddeus Blatmasters comes out. The 3 guards look at him. You'll be safe here. They paid a lot of money to hire us to get you here. And Thaddeus just kind of looks puzzled, and the van drives away. He turns around, and there are 2 figures in the shadows, and they step forward. A pair of witches we know well, Mary and Martha.
Oh.
Professor Blatmasters, we are honored to have you up here at Salem State. Let's take you to your office.